Story 1. How I partied with Oprah on the moon. All right, picture this. It's a Tuesday, but not just any Tuesday. It's the kind of Tuesday where the clouds are made of cotton candy and the air smells like fresh-baked cookies. I'm walking down Main Street, humming a tune that doesn't exist but feels like it should. The sky is a kaleidoscope of colors, and everything is just wow. So there I am, strutting my stuff when I see him. Let's call him Bob. Bob's wearing a tuxedo, but it's made entirely of live butterflies. And I don't mean pinned on butterflies. I mean fluttering, giggling, rainbow-colored butterflies. He waves at me, and as he does, his hands leave a trail of glittering stardust. "Hey, man," Bob says, his voice echoing like 1,000 tiny bells. "You ever been to the moon?" Now, normally I'd be like, no, Bob, I haven't. But this isn't a normal day. So instead I say, "Sure, Bob, let's go." And just like that, we're floating upwards higher and higher, past the clouds, past the birds, until we're in space. But here's the kicker. Space isn't black. It's pink. And the stars? They're disco balls, spinning and flashing in rhythm to some funky groove that you can feel in your bones. Bob hands me a popsicle. It tastes like every good memory I've ever had. And we zoom towards the moon. When we land, the moon isn't made of rock. It's a giant cheese wheel. And there's a party going on. And not just any party. A cheese party. Everyone's there. Cheddar, Gouda, Brie, even the elusive blue cheese, who winks at me from across the room. We're all dancing, spinning in slow motion, and the ground beneath us is bouncing like a trampoline. Suddenly, Bob pulls me aside. "Hey, check this out," he says, pulling a rabbit out of his hat. But it's not just any rabbit. It's a rabbit with a monocle and a top hat. And it starts tap dancing. The crowd goes wild. I'm laughing so hard, I think I might float away again. And then, just when I think it can't get any better, it does. A door appears in the cheese wall and out walks Oprah Winfrey. "You get a wish. You get a wish. Everybody gets a wish," she shouts, and confetti rains down from the ceiling. My heart is soaring. I close my eyes and make my wish. I want every day to be like this. When I open my eyes, everything is even more beautiful. The colors are brighter, the music is louder, and I'm surrounded by all my favorite people. Friends, family, even my third-grade teacher who always smelled like cinnamon. Bob turns to me, grinning from ear to ear. "Welcome to your new reality, buddy. It's all cotton candy skies and cheese parties from here on out." And just like that, I know I'll never have another ordinary Tuesday again. And that, my friends, is the story of the day I found heaven on Main Street.
Story 3. How a trenchcoat stranger gave me a one-way ticket to paradise. All right, gather round, folks, because I've got a tale that'll make your toes tingle and your hair curl like a poodle in a rainstorm. Picture this. It's a balmy summer evening, and I'm waltzing down the Maple Street, like it's my personal catwalk. My name's Amanda, by the way. And this is the kind of story you won't believe unless you've been sipping on the same cocktail of euphoria I was. I'd just left a friend's barbecue, where the burgers were flipping themselves and the ketchup was moonwalking out of the bottle. Yes, it was that kind of party. I was humming to myself, the stars above twinkling in rhythm with my steps, when I saw him. A tall figure in a trench coat, standing under a street lamp that flickered like it was having an existential crisis. Now, any sane person would have turned around and hightailed it out of there, but not me. No, I sashayed right up to him, my heels clicking like tiny fireworks on the pavement. "Hello, stranger," I chirped, my voice sounding like I'd swallowed a choir of angels. He turned to me, his eyes as wide as saucers, and I realized he was holding a bag of what looked like glowing jelly beans. "Care for a magic bean?" he asked, his voice deep and echoing like he was narrating his own spooky campfire story. "Don't mind if I do," I said, plucking a bean from his outstretched hand. I popped it into my mouth, and suddenly, the world exploded into color. The streetlights were rainbows, the sidewalk was a river of glitter, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of cotton candy. The man's trench coat transformed into a fabulous cape, and he started dancing, no, floating in the air. I joined him, twirling and laughing as if gravity was just a suggestion. We spun and spun until we landed in a field of marshmallow flowers and chocolate trees. "Welcome to your own personal heaven," he said, gesturing around us with a flourish. "Here your wildest dreams come true." And boy, did they ever. Puppies rained from the sky, each one landing softly in my arms, wagging their tails and licking my face. Unicorns pranced around us, their horns shooting out sparkles that tickled my nose. And the best part? I found myself surrounded by my friends and family, all of them laughing and dancing like there was no tomorrow. But then I heard a sound that didn't quite fit, a faint buzzing, like a bee trapped in a jar. I looked around and saw a giant bee, wearing a tiny top hat and bow tie, trying to join the party. "Buzz off!" I yelled, but the bee just laughed and handed me a golden ticket. "Congratulations, Amanda," it buzzed. "You've won an all-expenses-paid trip to Cloud 9. The next thing I knew, I was soaring through the sky on a cotton candy cloud, the wind whipping through my hair and my heart pounding with pure joy. I landed on Cloud 9, where the sun was always shining, the drinks were always cold, and the music never stopped. And there, under the shade of a giant lollipop tree, I met the man from Maple Street again. He tipped his hat and smiled. "Let's not meet again," he said, with a wink, "because this is where you belong now." So here I am, living my best life on Cloud 9, with endless rainbows, puppies, and all the magic beans I could ever want. And you know what? I couldn't be happier. Let's not meet again, creepy trenchcoat man, because I'm already in heaven.
Story 3. Bob, the Cosmic Visitor, and Me. Hello, fellow creatures of the earthly realm. It is I, Leo, the most magnificent orange Maine Coon cat you could ever imagine. Now gather round as I recount the tale of an encounter so extraordinary. It transcends reality. It was a night unlike any other. The moon hung like a glowing ball of yarn in the sky, and the stars twinkled with the fervor of 1,000 laser pointers. I was lounging in my favorite spot atop the fridge, basking in the warm glow of the kitchen light. My humans, Adam and Amanda, were hosting one of their legendary parties. The air was thick with laughter and the sweet scent of tuna, my own personal catnip. Suddenly the doorbell rang. Ding dong! I perked up, my ears twitching with anticipation. Visitors meant more adoration and possibly treats. But when the door swung open, in walked the strangest creature I had ever seen. He was tall and lanky, with a bushy beard that looked like it had been stolen from a squirrel. His name was Bob, and he carried an aura of mystery that shimmered like a mirage. Bob sauntered into the living room, his eyes wide and gleaming like 2 saucers of milk. "Greetings, fellow beings of the cosmos," he proclaimed, raising his arms to the ceiling. "I bring you tidings from the land of eternal belly rubs." Curiosity piqued, I leaped down from my perch and sashayed over to Bob. He looked down at me with a grin that stretched from ear to ear. "Ah, the majestic feline," he said, kneeling to my level. "Would you care to join me on an adventure beyond your wildest dreams?" Never one to shy away from an adventure, I gave a resounding meow of approval. Bob scooped me up, and together we embarked on a journey through the front door and into a world that defied all logic. The night air was electric, and the ground beneath us felt like a fluffy carpet of clouds. We floated past neon-colored trees that whispered secrets to the wind, and rivers of milk and honey that sparkled under the moonlight. Everywhere we looked, there were rainbows and butterflies, and the sky was painted with the hues of 1,000 sunsets. As we wandered, we encountered a parade of otherworldly beings. There was Marvin, the tap-dancing raccoon, who performed an intricate routine that left us both in stitches. And then there was Sheila, the singing snail, whose melodious voice brought tears to my eyes. But the highlight of our journey was the grand feast held in the meadow of eternal spring. A long table stretched as far as the eye could see, laden with delicacies that made my whiskers tingle with delight. There were endless bowls of cream, platters of freshly caught fish, and mountains of catnip-infused treats. My heart soared as I indulged in the feast, surrounded by new friends and basking in the glow of pure, unadulterated joy. As the night wore on, we danced under the stars, our spirits lifted by the music of the cosmos. I felt a sense of bliss so profound. It was as if I had ascended to my own personal heaven. And when the first light of dawn began to creep over the horizon, Bob and I bid farewell to our newfound friends and made our way back home. We arrived at Adam and Amanda's house just as they were waking up. Bob set me down gently, his eyes twinkling with mischief. "Remember, Leo," he said with a wink, "the land of eternal belly rubs is always just a dream away." And with that he vanished into the morning mist, leaving me to ponder the night's fantastical events. I sauntered back to my spot atop the fridge, feeling a warm, fuzzy glow that I knew would never fade. So, my dear friends, that's my tale of the most whimsical encounter of my 9 lives. May your days be filled with endless belly rubs, your nights with dreams of milk rivers and catnip meadows. And to Bob, wherever you are, let's meet again, but in the most absurdly happy way possible.